Welcome. Today we're going to look at a few objectives from Chapter 8, Problem Solving and Program Design. Please turn to page 128 in your Log On to IT for CSEC textbook. I am Michele, your avatar, who will guide you through this lesson. These are the objectives that we will be looking at today. Explain what is a problem. List the steps in problem solving. Define the term algorithm. Define the term pseudocode. Define the term flowchart. And define the term compute program. Have you ever thought about what is a problem? We are faced with problems every day. A problem may be simple or complex. An example of a problem that you may be faced with every day is what to make for breakfast. Today I was faced with a problem. While feeding my dog this morning, I realized I was running low on dog food. I only had enough for one more feeding. What should I do? Especially now with the stay-at-home issue from the government and the COVID-19 virus pandemic. What should I do? Can you think of a problem that you were faced with today? Have you ever thought of the steps you have used to solve a problem? Well, there are some steps that you can follow. First step is to define the problem. We must have a clear understanding of what the problem is, determine what we need to help us solve the problem, and decide what results we want to achieve. The second step is to analyze the problem. That is to determine possible options. Identify the information we need to solve the problem. There are often several ways of solving a problem. Thirdly, or the third step actually, is to find the most efficient solution. The most efficient solution might be based on whether the solution is the cheapest, most efficient. You might weigh the strengths of one solution and the weaknesses and choose it based on the solution that has more strengths than weaknesses. The fourth step is to develop a method or an algorithm to solve that problem based on the option you choose. And it's usually a step-by-step set of instructions on how to solve that problem. And finally, you need to test and validate the solution, which is to see if the solution works well. And if it doesn't, then you may have to revise your plan. Let's look at another simple problem. Say your mom asked you to make a cup of coffee for her. You have never made coffee before. This is a simple problem, or it can be a bit complex based on the type of coffee your mom wants or what you need to do in order to make that coffee. What do we need to know? What questions would you ask your mom? How does she like her coffee? What kind of coffee does she want? Is it instant coffee? Or do you have to boil the coffee? How much sugar should you add? How much milk or cream should you add? Or does she want sugar at all in her coffee? My mom decided to write down the instructions for me. She gave me a list of all the materials and ingredients I would need, and she wrote a step-by-step process for me to follow. Making a cup of coffee for my mom. I had looked at my mom making a cup of coffee, and it seemed to be a very complicated thing. However, she broke down the steps for me and gave me the instruction. I was able to follow it precisely to make it exactly how she liked it. Wow, hey, guess what? My mom explained to me how to make a cup of coffee. She gave me the instructions, I followed it precisely, and it turned out exactly how she liked it. I was told that this is what an algorithm is: a sequence of instructions that has a finite number of steps, which, if followed, produces a precise solution to a given problem. At the end of the instructions, there is no question what needs to be done next. Algorithms can be written using pseudocode or flowcharts. Pseudocode, as the name implies, pseudo meaning false, code. So it's not the real code. It resembles the real code or resembles the real programming language of the computer. It cannot be executed by the computer. On the right there, you will see an example of pseudocode. Flowcharts, on the other hand, are diagrams that visually represent the sequence of instructions of algorithms. On the right, you will notice an example of a flowchart. But wait, what is a computer program? Is it similar to an algorithm? How is it different from an algorithm? Well, a computer program is a series of coded instructions for the computer to obey in order to solve a problem. It is written in a special language called a computer language. There are many computer languages out there. Each of these languages follow its own sets of rules and statements, similar to, say, Spanish or French or German or Dutch. These specific rules for writing the computer language is known as syntax. Below is an example of a computer program written in the Pascal programming language. Okay, let's do an activity. Can you solve the problem? Sailor Cat needs to bring a wolf, a goat, and a cabbage across the river. The boat is tiny and can only carry one passenger at a time. If he leaves the wolf and the goat alone together, the wolf will eat the goat. If he leaves the goat and the cabbage together, the goat will eat the cabbage. How can he bring all three across the river? Click on the link below or copy and paste the link in the address bar of your browser and do the activity. Write down the instructions you use to solve the puzzle. Okay, we are almost to the end. Let's review. True or false? Pseudocode is a programming language. Take a little time to think about the question. If you answered false, that is correct. Pseudocode is an algorithm. It's not a program language or computer language. Second question. A computer program is a series of coded instructions to obey in order to solve a problem. True or false? Take some time to think about the question. If you answered true, great, you are correct. A computer language is or computer program is a series of coded instructions for the computer to obey. Third question, true or false? Flowcharts are diagrams that are used to visually represent an algorithm. Take some time, think about the question carefully. Great! If you answered true, that is correct. Flowcharts are visual representations of an algorithm. Final question, true or false? There are two types of algorithms, computer program and pseudocode. Take some time, think about the question. If you answered false, great, that is correct. Pseudocode is not a computer program language. Algorithms are either pseudocode or flowchart. Finally, we've come to the end. Let's look at page 130 in your Log to IT textbook, 3rd edition, and try to answer the question at the end of the section. Exercise 1. You will see a sample of it below. The answers can be found on other education dynamic learning website. The link can be found in the inside front cover of your textbook. See you next time.